Drive home your new Kia from the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. We have brand new Kias arriving daily.
Plus, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And payments as low as $199 a month.
We service all makes and models.
And we'll buy your old car on the spot. Right, Oscar?
Y hablamos español.
Come see us at the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue.
It's not just a car dealership for me. This is my dealership.
Just minutes from anywhere in Indy. Or online at rayskillmanshadeland.com.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
It's Friday night and time for Indiana High School football on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit Universal at universalrfg.com. And brought to you in part by Genesis Sports Performance. Visit Genesis at genesissportsperformance.com. And by Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. And by High Gear Marketing at highgearmktg.com. Now, let's go to the field for Indiana High School football live on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
This is the final battle of the regular season. Tonight, number 1 rated Class A Lutheran hosts the Traders Point Christian Knights as the Saints seek their 24th straight victory. Good evening, I'm Mike Walensky along with Thad Van Evener. Tonight's Lutheran Traders Point Christian matchup features 2 high-powered passing attacks. Dave Pash's Lutheran Saints seek back-to-back state titles, while Sam Carn's 4-4 Knights look to earn the young program's first sectional championship. Tonight's game promises to explode the scoreboard. We'll be back after these messages to look at this matchup. Traders Point Christian Academy and the Lutheran Saints. You're watching high school football on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
I bought a 2020 Kia Telluride. It's amazing. I love how spacious it is. I can fit all of my children in there as well as all of my signs for my job. The customer experience here is top-notch. They are super quick, get me in, whether it's an oil change or anything else, and make sure that I am well taken care of.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100. Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Rise, gentlemen, remove your hats. We'll say our pregame prayer, followed by the singing of our national anthem. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to gather this evening around the playing field to enjoy the talents displayed by students from both teams. We ask that you help us to be good hosts to our friends from Traders Point Christian School. Please watch over all of us and keep us free from harm.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the home of the top-ranked Lutheran Saints. I'm Mike Walensky. Joining me is Thad Van Evener tonight. And Thad, Traders Point Christian Academy's Sam Carnes would like to have better results than last year's 43-6 setback to the Lutheran Saints. How can the Knights get the job done?
Yeah, I think the biggest key tonight for Traders Point is can they protect their quarterback? Cooper Simmons Little, he can really throw it. over 2,200 yards already on the season, but they've got to keep that pocket clean for him, give him some time, and let him find the receivers. We've seen Lutheran already this year. They can get into the backfield. That front four on the defensive side can really get some pressure. The offensive line for Traders Point is the key tonight.
Fab, Lutheran seeks its 24th straight victory. At 8-0, the Saints have destroyed many opponents, allowing them to establish depth on both sides of the ball. Talk about Lutheran's high-powered offense.
Well, we just talked about Traders Point's quarterback, but how about Jackson Willis? Just a sophomore, lefty, got a rifle for an arm. He can really sling it around. But they're pretty versatile on offense. They're averaging over 160 yards rushing the football as well. Willis is about 295 yards per game through the air. They can hit you both through the air, on the ground. It's 2 if by land, 1 if by sea type of situation with the Saints offense. But they're pretty versatile, and they can score in a hurry. We saw that a couple weeks ago when we were here for the Monrovia game. Monrovia had a couple of really long scoring drives in that first quarter, and then bang, 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 took about 45 seconds, and the Saints went right down the field and matched them with a touchdown.
Well, the Saints defense is very good, too. They've gotten great production from all over. Talk a little bit about the Saints defense. Dave Pash and his squad really comes at you.
Yeah, I mentioned the defensive line, and it kind of starts up front for them. If those 4 guys can get pressure in the backfield, they've got a linebacking core and some safeties that can fly to the football. So it's not necessarily about going and hitting the quarterback. The front 4 will do the damage up front against the offensive line and let those 3 linebackers just run and go hit some people.
Thanks, Thad. And when we return, Indianapolis Lutheran hosts Traders Point Christian on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have 0 to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
We are back at Lutheran High School. I'm Mike Walensky along with Thad Van Evener. The number 1 Class A ranked Lutheran Saints take on Traders Point Christian, a ball club that comes into tonight's contest 4-4, and Sam Carnes and his club has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Lutheran looking for their 24th straight win. They're 8-0 on the season. They're averaging 49 points per game. They're pretty electric here at home as well. We saw the senior night thing, so the seniors tonight are going to be pretty jacked up as they get ready for the postseason to start next week. For Traders Point, as we talked about, really the key is up front. Can those 5 offensive linemen keep Cooper Simmons Little clean back there and let him throw it? Like as I mentioned before, 2,200 yards on the season. He's averaging 277 yards per game through the air, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's very efficient, but they got to give him time.
Traders Point will be kicking off to start off this ball game. Mason Smith, the junior, 6 foot, 140 pounds, number 8, will kick off for the Knights. And deep for Lutheran, one of the returners is Boss Jones, number 4, and on the far side is Cabrian Shelby. And both these individuals have fantastic speed.
Yeah, these guys can take it to the house once they get their hands on it.
Boss Jones at about the 2-yard line. Across the 20, and look at him go down the sideline. And he's going to be called out near the 50-yard line. That was Boss Jones, number 4. He is an outstanding athlete, plays both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, he was tightrope walking right there along the sideline, got a couple of blocks and out near the 50. And, Coach Carnes, to his credit, he said one of the keys to this game is going to be special teams. He said it's kind of the hidden yardage thing with Lutheran. They've really beat up their opponents in special teams, and there you see a big return right off the bat.
The sophomore southpaw, Jackson Willis, the quarterback for Lutheran, 30 touchdowns on the year. He has thrown for 2,330 yards and just 3 interceptions. Out of the shotgun, Davis, the running back, he's got himself a first down. Joe Davis, the leading runner, almost 900 yards on the season for Lutheran. They've got the great punch, great balance, throwing and running.
Yeah, I mentioned the rushing attack earlier, and Davis is the key to that. 111 yards per game for him. They average 160 per game as a team, and that's how they can hit you. Dual threat offense for them. They can, once they get that running game going, Willis can go to play action.
Actually, they're going to give him 9 yards on the play, and the give on the inside. That will be a first down for Lutheran. It looked like L.J. Ward was the runner. I'm not quite sure that was, but that'll be a first down for the Saints. And this football team has just been so productive offensively this year.
We've seen, off tackle to the right on the first play. There on the second down, they go off tackle to the left. They can hit you. That offensive line is a key for them.
Actually, the runner was number 8, Kerbrian Shelby. This is Shelby again off the left side. Inside the 35. There he goes. 20. Shelby. Touchdown, Lutheran. No flag on the play. And the Saints are on the board to start this one off in the first quarter.
And how about we talk about Jackson Willis in the pregame? We're expecting to see him put in the air. 3 running plays right off the bat and a huge hole off the left side. Got a block out there from the receiver, and then he was gone.
Nick Miller in to attempt the point after.
Nick Miller, number 26, to attempt the extra point for the Saints. Already on top of this ball game, 6-0. This is a ball club that comes into tonight's game with 23 consecutive wins. This kick is up and good, and it's Lutheran 7. And Traders Point nothing with just 10:46 to go in the first.
And that's what we were talking about in the pregame as well, Mike. They can hit you in such a fast and furious way offensively. We're a minute and 14 seconds into the game, and they've already got 7 points on the board. This offense is electric once they're clicking.
The offense is averaging 458 yards per contest in this ball game. This is the last regular season game with Lutheran looking to repeat as state champions. They have an IHSA record at 40-15, and over the years, 8 sectionals, 6 regionals, 2 semi-state titles, and looking for their second state title. This ball club is really on a roll.
Mike, they've had 2 losses in the last 4 seasons, both of them by 1 point. Last time they lost the game, September 25th, 2020, at Northview, 26-25 in double OT. The other loss, they lost to Lafayette Central Catholic in the 2019 state championship game, 29-28. So 2 losses in 4 seasons, both by 1 point. This is a great football program.
And Dax Locklear will be kicking off for the Lutheran Saints. Philip Moran, one of the return guys, number 1, on the far side of the field for the Traders Point Christian Academy. This is number 3, Eli Meals, having trouble picking it up at about the 12. Great coverage downfield. He's going to be down inside the 15-yard line, and that's another product of this ball club being so sound defensively on special teams.
Yeah, and that's that yardage difference, right? So the kickoff for the Lutheran, they get it all the way out to the 50. Traders Point's going to have to start their first offensive possession inside their own 15. This makes it so much harder for an offense when they've got to go, 80, 85 yards to get points on the board.
15-yard line, 1st and 10.
Cooper Simmons Little will be the quarterback for Traders Point. He also has an outstanding year so far, 2,218 yards throwing, 27 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Very similar to Jackson Willis, this junior Cooper Simmons Little. Looks to throw on the right side, it's caught. And good positive yardage here on the first play. And a nice toss by Cooper Simmons Little to Philip Moran, his 48th catch of the year.
Yeah, Moran, coming in before that reception, 729 yards in the season, 12 touchdowns. So he's a big play receiver for the Knights.
11-yard gain for the Knights, and it's a first down for Traders Point at their own 26. Cooper Simmons Little out of the shotgun. Early on in the first period already, the Saints on the board, up 7-0. Simmons Little getting some pressure, throwing downfield, and this one is caught and dropped in a nice little job down the middle to number 4, the receiver there for Traders Point after a gain of about 8.
Jack Shady.
Yeah, pretty good creativity there from Simmons Little. There was the pressure off the right side of the line. He scrambles out to his left and does a nice job of just dumping it down and getting positive yards.
Jack Shavy was the receiver, the sophomore. 5'8", 160 yards. They'll give him 9 yards. And the give, he's going nowhere. The ball is on the floor, and it's recovered by the Saints. The Saints, I think Bauer, the linebacker, number 44, that was the guy that picked up the football.
Yeah, we talked about those linebackers. The defensive line does a great job of engaging that offensive line, filling those holes, and that's where those linebackers should come in and fill, and they can run and they can hit, Mike, as evidenced right there by Bauer.
Justin Kirk, the running back, had the football and coughed it up at his own 34-yard line, and the Saints are in business with 9:36 to go in the first period. Jackson Willis, the quarterback, 2 running backs. The give on the left side. There he goes. 20, 15, 10, 5. I think that's Boss Jones. Nope, that's Cabrian Shelby. That's Shelby once again. Cabrian Shelby, number 8.
Big first quarter already for Shelby, and I mean, I know we talked about Willis in the pregame, and he hasn't even thrown a pass yet, Mike. They're doing the work up front. Huge holes for Shelby, and he breaks another one.
Nick Miller in for the extra point. Boss Jones, number 4, will hold for the Lutheran Saints. Just 9:30 to go. It took 6 seconds to get in the end zone. The kick by Miller, and we've got ourselves a 14-0 Saints victory. 14-0 with just 9:30 to go.
Yeah, definitely not the situation if you're Traders Point you wanted to be down 14 points early. The good part of that is you got some time to make up for it. You give Cooper Simmons Little some time. He can make some plays in the pocket, but you don't want to be down 14-0 to the number 1 team in the state.
Lutheran has just been fabulous offensively in their defense, coming up with a big turnover as Dax Locklear, number 2, will be set to kick off as both teams are huddling now. And for Traders Point Christian Academy, to make this game competitive, they need to be able to hold on the football and score some points. Otherwise, this game is going to slip out of their hands very quickly early on in this ball game.
An absolute must for Traders Point is to win the turnover battle tonight. They're already down 1-0 in that category, and that was an immediate score off a turnover for Lutheran. They've done a great job of that this season. They take advantage when the other team gives them an opportunity. There, they catch another one in.
Philip Moran and Eli Meals once again deep for Traders Point. Locklear, the kick, line drive with Meals at his 8. Meals slowing down, and that's not going to help as he's going to get buried under. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779, and by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes as well as adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. Thad, 14-0 Traders Point. With the football, they've got to score points.
Yeah, it's early, but it's kind of like a must-score situation here already for Traders Point. You can't give the football back to Lutheran with a 14-point advantage with Jackson Willis. We've already seen the big work up front by the offensive line and what Shelby's been doing out of the backfield.
Empty backfield by Cooper Simmons Little. He gets a rush. He throws to the right side, and this one is caught.
Simmons Little pass is complete.
Spencer Bauer, the linebacker, comes up and makes the tackle after a short gain of about 2.
Drives him out of bounds, a gain of about 1.5 yards on the play. Second down, Knights.
Jack Shavy was the receiver again, number 4, his second reception of the contest for the Knights. Cooper Simmons Little, the give. Nope, fake down the middle. This one is caught by Moran. That'll be close, and it'll be a first down.
Heck of a grab there. Heck of a grab there from Moran across the middle. throw was just a little bit high, and he went up and pulled it in. Great use of his hands right there. And this is what we talked about with Cooper Simmons Little. If they can give him some time in the pocket, he can make some plays in the passing attack, and they're really going to spread it out. We've seen them 5 wide almost exclusively so far tonight.
Traders Point.
Knights have the football, 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Cooper Simmons Little, empty backfield, looking to Moran, now rolls out to his right, throws, and it's almost picked off.
Nearly picked off by Jake Akins.
Akins there on the coverage, and there was another instance where they didn't get all the way to him, but they're putting enough pressure on him to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. That time he had to shift out to the right, and he just basically had to throw it to the sideline.
11 Saints defenders have had at least 20 tackles this year. Jake Akins, number 27, has 26. Looks like a blitz from the middle, and they jumped off sides.
There is a flag on the play.
You're right, Mike. They look like they were going to bring some heat up the middle there, and just a little bit too antsy right there and jumps offside.
Cameron McCaney, 79, the freshman, jumped offside, and he's someone that really sticks out. He's an outstanding defensive lineman, and he's one of the top tacklers. Doesn't happen too often. He has 46 stops with 3 sacks. Cooper Simmons Little looking down the right side and overthrows the intended receiver there. That was Meals, and Coach Cards talked about the fact that Eli Mills is one of his best athletes, and they have an outstanding receiving corps.
Yeah, Moran, Mills, we've seen Shavy make some grabs, so they've got some perimeter guys that can go make some plays. That time, Cooper Simmons Little, under a little bit of pressure, had to throw that football just a second before he wanted to let Moran complete the route.
3rd down and 5, empty backfield for Cooper Simmons Little. Now he has a running back joining him in the backfield. Back to pass. He gets his man, Moran. He crosses the line to gain. That'll be another 1st down. Some tempo being activated by Sam Carnes. His brother, Ben Carnes, is the offensive coordinator for this ball club.
Yeah, really nice job there. And for the Knights to be successful on offense, it's going to be more of that quick passing attack for them. 4 and 5 yard out patterns. Try to work the middle of the field. Get it out of Simmons Little's hands as quick as possible.
And they give off the right side, and boy, does that defense flow to the football. That's a short gain of about 2. One of the tacklers was Cam Patterson, number 88. He's been pretty good this entire season. And off the air, before the game started, the Lutheran folks said Indiana and Tom Allen has been looking at him. He has the potential to play at the Division I level. He is that good, and now an official timeout on the field.
I think they are looking at the running back, Kirk, after that hit.
Justin Kirk is the leading ball carrier for Traders Point this season. 103 carries, 568 yards, with 5 touchdowns. He's averaged 5.5 yards per carry. And as Thad pointed out, he's shaken up there at his own 46-47 yard line with the training corps. Good thing he's standing up on his own.
Yeah, don't want to speculate, but a nice job there by the officiating crew to notice that when Kirk gets up off the field. Want to take all the precautions that are needed for these young men.
Cooper Simmons Little, joined by Daniel Reffett, number 11, in the backfield. And that's Reffett, and Cooper Simmons Little keeps it. He gets by a couple tacklers. He's going to get the 1st down. Nice fake.
Yeah, well, there you see the athleticism from Simmons Little. Nice job. He put that into the running back's belly, and at the very last second pulls it out of there, keeps it for about 12, 14 yards.
1st down now in Saints territory. A key drive now for Traders Point Christian to keep within striking distance of this ball game early on in the 1st period, down 14-0 already to the Lutheran Saints. Cooper Simmons Little keeps it, and he's driven down to the ground by Mims. One of the defensive linemen drives him down after only a gain of about 1.
67 for the Saints, Gavin Mims.
Nice play there by Mims. He established the edge out there, didn't let Simmons Little get outside. Kind of a nice job there by Simmons Little to just spin to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Cooper Simmons Little brings the Knights to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Blitz down the middle. Look out. He's getting down rush. Did he go across the line of scrimmage as he throws it out of bounds?
That was very, very close. I think the officials are maybe going to talk about it here briefly, but I didn't see a flag come out.
3rd down and 10, and one thing that Traders Point does not want to do in this ball game is play behind the chains, and now they're forced to do it with Reffitt joining his quarterback, Cooper Simmons Little, in the backfield. 3rd and 10. Simmons Little, he gives to Reffitt off the right side. He's going to get 5, maybe 6. One of the linebackers, I believe that was Bauer, was the first guy to meet him, number 44 for Lutheran.
The ball carrier picks up about 6 on the
and Reffitt coming in with Kirk stepping out. Reffitt, a freshman for Traders Point, now in at running back.
4th and 5 for Simmons Little, and Coach Carnes is going to go for a first down here. The ball on the Lutheran 35. Traders Point trails in this ball game 14-0. High snap. Simmons Little looking down to the right side. Make that the left side to Moran. He was heavily covered by Boss Jones.
Yeah, great.
And they'll turn it over.
Great example there. They didn't get all the way home, but enough pressure back there on Simmons Little that he had to throw that football before he wanted to, and he had to throw it before Moran was able to finish his route.
Now Jackson Willis takes the Saints out to the line of scrimmage as they take the football over at the 35 with 5:54 to play in the first period. Lutheran up 14-0. Two backs for Jackson Willis. Screen. Boss Jones, there he goes. He's going to get good yardage here on first down. Very productive as Reffitt runs him out of downs, and that'll be a first down.
Yeah, let's give some credit out there to Micah McKay on the outside with a great block there from his receiver just to get Boss enough room to leak it up the sideline there.
First down and 10 for Lutheran at the 48-yard line. Jackson Willis back to pass screen. Micah McCain is leading receiver. Moran makes the tackle after a gain of 4.
See, Willis knows how to play this, right? McKay with a big block on the last play is like, hey, let's feed this guy. He's doing the dirty work out there. Let's get him the football.
Micah McKay this year, 41 receptions, 889 yards, and 10 touchdowns for the Saints. 2nd and 6 from the Knights' 48. The give, Cabrian Shelby. He's had 2 large touchdown runs. This time he runs it untouched in the defensive secondary. Gus Westerfield, 77, makes a tackle, but not before a first down.
Yeah, and another great job by the offensive line, making a big hole there. Plenty of room for Shelby to make his moves.
First down from the 41, flags all over the place.
I think that's going to be a false start up front.
False start.
Up front, speaking of the Lutheran Saints, at left tackle is Lewis Mobley, number 55. The left guard is 73, Dylan Duncan. The center is Owen Lecker, number 61. The right guard is Jack Beard, number 58. And Tarian Langston, number 72, the big right tackle for the Saints. As Jackson Willis looks on, 2nd and 11 now from the 41. Make it 2nd 11 from the 46. Screen, McKay. Nice cut, 40. McKay, 30. He's going to go all the way. 10-5, touchdown Saints.
Hey, Mike, if you want it, somebody lost their shoes out there because McKay juked him right out of his cleats. That was a great move by McKay. That's what we talked about with Willis. He's got so many weapons. You just got to get the football into their hands and let them make those plays.
That was a great move.
31st touchdown pass of the season by Jackson Willis, and the 11th touchdown for Micah McKay. Nick Miller on for the extra point. Boss Jones will hold. Saints This one is good, and it's 21-0 Lutheran with 4:34 to go in the first.
Hey, we talked about it. They're averaging 49 points per game for a reason, Mike. This offense is really clicking right now, in great form. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the broadcast, but they are primed and ready to go for the postseason. We expect them to make a pretty deep run. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we were here for the Monrovia game. It's just something interesting that you and I like to dig into, but we looked at the Sagarin ratings, and when we were here a couple weeks ago, they had the Saints as the 17th best team in the state, regardless of classification on the Sagarin. They've moved up to 13th in the Sagarin ratings. That's with anyone in the state. You're talking about the 6A powerhouses, Carmel, Center Grove, Cathedral, all of it. On paper, and when you look at the stats, this Lutheran team matches up with those squads.
Associated Press has Lutheran number 1. Indiana Football Coaches Association has the number 1, but you're right. I think if you really want to look at the reality of football programs throughout the state, look at Sagarin, and they're 13th. The reason being is because the media and the coaches really never get to see these teams play.
And it's so hard, in Indiana high school football. You don't get a lot of cross-conference, non-conference matchups because a majority of your regular season is those conference games, 7 to 8 games depending on which conference you're in. So you don't see a lot of non-conference games, so it's tough to go out and play those other teams in those other classifications and get a sense of where you're at.
Blacklear's kick. And the special teams for Lutheran absolutely buries the Knights in very poor field position to start this drive. Lutheran is just coming out with fire in this ball game.
Senior night, those guys are going to be fired up, right? They know that they've got a chance at an undefeated season, regular season, that they can extend to 24 consecutive wins. This team is, they're right there. They're ready. They're building, they expect to play deep into November.
Cooper Simmons Little now joined by 2 running backs in the backfield, maybe to give him more protection. Down 21-0 in the first period. Right-hander lofts one downfield, looking for Moran. This one overthrown, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, they were looking for a little wheel route out of the backfield. They had Moran in the backfield. They were just going to kind of split him out. Really, they were hoping to get him one-on-one with maybe a linebacker or a safety, but really good coverage there from Lutheran.
Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779, and by Genesis Sports Performance. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. 2nd and 10 for Traders Point. Pass down the middle, off the fake, the play action, maybe the RPO, and he misses receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Shavy was the intended receiver for Traders Point. Nice job of bringing in the football by Cooper Simmons Little.
Yeah, Shavy had a little bit of separation there, but the pass just a little bit too far out in front of him, and he was unable to haul it in.
3rd and 10 for Traders Point. Lutheran is going to be coming. They're blitzing down the middle. Cooper Simmons Little rolling to his right. Throws, and this one is incomplete. Just over the receiver's outstretched arms. It'll be 4th down. He was looking for Moran.
And he was close to being over the line of scrimmage when he let loose of that ball. Again, Moran had a little bit of separation, but they're putting so much pressure on Simmons Little, he's just not able to set his feet and fire.
4th down for Traders Point Christian Academy, and Mason Smith will come in to do the punting. And I believe that's Cabrian Shelby deep for Lutheran, standing at about his 45-yard line. Let's see. Nope, that's Boss Jones, number 4, actually. Smith will do the punting for Traders Point. Down 21-0. 9 guys look to be, maybe 8 now, attacking the line of scrimmage for Lutheran. Slow snap. Smith gets underway, and it hits about the 35. It's going to take a Knight's roll and go out of bounds. But that Lutheran's going to get the football inside enemy territory.
Yeah, and Traders Point's offense there didn't really help their defense. Going to give the Saints a short field here as they come out for this next offensive series. We finally seen Willis in the pass game. Quick passing, they're getting it out in the flat, letting the receivers make some plays. We've seen the offensive line doing some work. Shelby's hit a couple of big runs. They're so versatile, it's hard for the Knights to try to key on one area to slow down Lutheran, right? You can't just load up the box and try to stop the run, because then you open the passing game up for Willis, and vice versa. You can't put 5 or 6 DBs out there, because then they're just going to run it against you every single play.
Joe Davis joins Jackson Willis. Davis screen, the pass to Boss Jones, slips the tackle, 35, he's to the 30, spins, he's still going, and drives forward. It's a first down for Lutheran.
We've seen Shelby in space, we've seen Jones in space, we've seen McKay in space. They've just got athletes out there, and if you get them with some room, if you get them in some one-on-one situations, they can make the play and take it to the house.
13-yard gain. Sheldon Hackett, 13, was the tackler for the Knights. First down, 27-yard line. Willis, screen, right side, caught there, and he's going to get down after a nice, solid gain.
That was Beatty on the reception there.
Dakota Beatty on the catch for the Saints.
Dakota Beatty gets himself a first down, and I tell you what, they're now forcing that defense to play soft in the corners.
And now what they're doing, too, is everything's been short passing attack. They're going to try to get those corners to play up a little bit, and then Willis is going to hit them deep.
And now they're playing up, and this is Willis. There's Boss Jones wide open on the double move, and you called it, Thad. There's a touchdown, and it's 27-0. Jackson Willis, his 32nd touchdown pass of the year.
I mean, that's what they were doing, right? They're reeling them in, and then boom, pump fake, and he's loose down the sideline for a touchdown. It's hard to defend when they can hit you from so many different angles.
Boss Jones, number 4, with the touchdown. Nick Miller to attempt the extra point. The Saints on top in this ball game, with just 3:19 to go in the first period. It is now the kick good, I believe. 28-0 Lutheran.
Nick Miller, attaboy, 2-6.
4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. We've seen 2 of them on the ground, 2 of them through the air. That time, as we talked about, I mean, I'm not trying to hype myself up a little bit, but you could see that coming. The corners were starting to come in. They were hitting them. They were working the flats. They were working the short passing game. And then Willis with a great pump fake, and Jones was loose right around the DB out there, and he had no help from a safety, because they've already got you so spread out with the formation that there's no one there to help you, and he just got to throw it up and let Jones go get it.
Our game tonight is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. Jackson Willis has been on target. One of those receivers, number 13, Dakota Beatty, a nice possession catch and a first down. That really opened things up for Boss Jones with the touchdown.
Yeah, and how many different guys have we already called out their names offensively, right? So not only can you not just pinpoint, hey, we're going to stop the run, or hey, we're going to stop the pass, you can't even try to single out one offensive weapon that you want to slow down, right? Like, you can't key on McKay because then Jones is going to hurt you, or you can't try to key on Shelby because Beatty's going to hurt you. They've got so many weapons out there, they can just hit you from all across the field.
Dax Locklear to Meals, running across the field. It's got a nice return there. He's going to go out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. First down for Traders Point.
Number 1, C.J. Irvin.
Eli Meals with a nice return. Brings it across the 25-yard line.
This is kind of a reset possession for the Knights, right? You're down 21-0. Obviously, that's a huge hole that you've already dug yourself in. But you've got to focus on this drive here. Let's be meticulous. Let's execute. Let's get some first downs. Let's go get some points on this drive and kind of just at least stay within striking distance of Lutheran.
Cooper Simmons Little, the quarterback for the Knights. First down and 10 from his own 27. Cooper Simmons Little goes down the right side to Moran. He's double covered, and he throws ahead of coverage. 2nd down and 10.
Right side incomplete. Jake Akins.
Looked like that was Akins and Irvin maybe on the coverage. Double coverage there against Moran. You know Moran's the go-to guy in the passing attack, so I think they've got safety help. Whatever he's going to be lined up on the field, they're going to have safety help.
Cooper Simmons Little out of the shotgun with Justin Kirk in the backfield. He's number 9.
Good to see Kirk back into the game after that hit earlier.
Simmons Little gives to Kirk off the right side. He's going absolutely nowhere. That left side of the defensive line for the Saints just collapsed all over him.
Kirk on the carry.
Mims, 67, was one of the tacklers. He has played early on a really nice game for Dave Pash's Saints.
Yeah, Mims has been very active up front. I think Lohman was maybe in on that hit as well.
Once again, Traders Point playing behind the chains. It's 3rd down and 12 from the 25. And it looks like the Saints are going to put some pressure on them. Shotgun, there's a blitz from the right side. Cooper Simmons Little, look out, throws downfield, and it's caught by Moran at the 45 and across the 49-yard line. It'll be a 1st down. Good effort by the Knights.
Got to give some credit where credit to due. Simmons Little with a great play there from his quarterback spot. Cam Patterson was coming off the edge. He had him dead for rights. Simmons Little does a great job of extending the play as long as he possibly can until Moran has just enough space, hits him down for a big gain.
Cooper Simmons Little trying to slow down maybe the tempo of this ball game as the clock winds now. We're played under 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Off the right side, I think this is Reffitt, and what a stop there as Akins, 27, comes up from his quarterback spot for Coach Pash's Saints and makes the tackle, a gain of maybe a yard.
A great play there by Akins. He's been very active so far tonight, and we've seen him from his safety spot. We've seen him in coverage. We saw him on the coverage with the deep ball to Moran. There you see him at the line of scrimmage making the play. He's been all over the field.
Cooper Simmons Little, 2nd down and long. Fake handoff of pass, and he's popped. This one's tipped up in the air. I believe it's going to be incomplete, and there is an injured Knight sitting at the 47-yard line as the ball was incomplete, and we've got an injured player, Thad.
Yeah, the receiver came across, and the linebacker was right there to meet him right at midfield.
Coach Sam Carnes is taking a look at his player with a lot of concern. He took a huge hit.
Next Friday night,
can't identify who that is from here.
Marks the start of the tournament. We'll be right here at the friendly confines against South Putnam. That kickoff again for 7 o'clock.
I think it is number 10, Adam Quain, the senior wide receiver, 5'10", 150 pounds, is lying out on the field. That is a good sign. Actually, it's number 30. It's number 30, Daniel Schoonveld. Thank goodness Daniel's getting up. A little story about Daniel. I found out today that Daniel's late aunt, Grace Schoonveld, was the coordinator for Washington Township Special Olympics. She did a marvelous job spearheading that program. That's one of the most successful Special Olympics programs in the state of Indiana. Now her nephew, Tim Sutton, is coaching basketball for that program. They have programs all over the board. I understand most recently they've developed a unified softball program. So it's nice to see Daniel get back up on his feet.
Yeah, great to see Schoonfeld up and on his own power to the sideline. Took a huge hit across the middle of the field.
3rd down and 10 from the Traders Point 49-yard line for Cooper Simmons Little. Here comes a blitz from the outside. Getting a rush, throwing down the field. It's nearly picked off by Akins. It'll be 4th down.
And that time, Simmons Little was almost like a Patrick Mahomes sidearm sling right there. But Akins, again, active in the defensive backfield, nearly had an interception.
The blitz, the heat, was coming from 33, Braden Hall.
About 6 guys out there wearing number 27.
We've seen a couple of times, Mike, where a high snap really has thrown off the timing for the Knights offensively, and it's not allowing Simmons Little enough time to get his feet set.
The Knights are going to go for the first down. Cooper Simmons Little down the middle for Meals, incomplete. He had the defender beat. And that will turn the football back to the Saints with the opportunity to put points on the board close to a running clock.
That time Meals was open up the seam, maybe just a little bit too much velocity on that throw from Simmons Little off his fingertips, but he had him really good play design there from the Knights. Unfortunate for them is an incompletion, and second time in a row now we've seen Lutheran get the football back on their half of the 50. Their offense doesn't need a lot of help, and when you give them these short fields, it makes it that much easier for them to go the distance and get some more points on the board.
Jackson Willis guiding this offense for Coach Pasha's ball club. Already 2 touchdown passes early on in this ball game. 28-0. Minute 13 to go in the first period. Flag on the play. Throws down the middle for Boss Jones. He caught it with his right hand, but he's going to go out of bounds. This is going to come back, Thad. I think I saw holding in the backfield.
Yeah, it's right in that area where you expect to see holding. Great catch there by Jones across the middle to kind of reach back and haul that one in with one hand. We wait for the official to give us the official ruling here, but I think that one's going to be coming back.
Yeah, the referee had the preliminary signal of holding against the Saints, and there it is, the official call. And we're going to be marching that football back. It just seems like every time there's a great catch, the ball comes backwards. Got ourselves a penalty, but tonight it seems like, with the exception of that penalty, Lutheran has done everything well. First and long for the Saints with 1:04 to go in the first quarter, and they're already up 28-0. Jackson Willis from the shotgun, give to Joe Davis. 40, gets by one tackler, slips through another. Still going, and he takes a couple guys before he goes down to the 47-yard line. 52, Hawk Johnson was one of the guys that made the tackle.
And that's a pretty electric run for 8 yards of gain, you know what I mean? A couple of stiff arms, a spin move in there, and really nice. Well done.
2nd and 13 now. 12-yard gain by Joe Davis. Clock under 30 to play here in the first period. Willis looking to his left, draw play to Davis, and he is met by a Hawk Johnson, and finally is cleaned up by Sam Quilhot, number 22.
Really nice job there by Johnson, 52 for Traders Point. 2 times in a row he's been in on the hit, active right there. Great job of meeting Davis right there at the line of scrimmage.
Daniel Reffett is now limping. He helped out on the tackle as well, and he's a valuable offensive player, let alone playing defense tonight, and that ends the quarter with Lutheran on top, 28-0. You're watching high school football on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
We're back at Lutheran, and the score is 28-0 after the first period play. And Thad, everything has gone Lutheran's way offensively and defensively.
I mean, I think we saw one penalty in that first quarter, that holding call that kind of set him back, and that's probably the only negative you can point out of that first quarter for the Saints. Really electric. Willis doing a great job offensively. I think I've been equally impressed with the Saints' defense tonight as I have their offense, though.
3rd and 18 for the Saints from the 43. And I believe that Traders Point has crossed the neutral zone, and Nick Bartels, number 75, is going to be flagged for a 5-yard penalty, and that's a free shot. It'll be 3rd and 13 for Lutheran.
Ball at the 48-yard line. 3rd down.
Willis with Boss Jones in the backfield. Dakota Beatty lined up to the far side, to the near side of our field. The slot guy, they've got 2 slots over there. One of them is Cobrian Shelby. He has been outstanding this tonight, running the ball. This is Davis on the draw. 50, 40, got a block. 30, and there is a flag on the play. I think this is coming back. There may be a hold. It looks like number 73, Dylan Duncan, was holding somebody on the far side of the field.
Yeah,
we're coming back.
Gorgeous play design there. Basically just a delayed draw out of the shotgun, handed off to Davis, but there was holding probably 5 to 6 yards down the field from the line of scrimmage, and that was probably the block that busted this thing wide open for Davis.
Our game tonight is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com.
Still 3rd down.
3rd and 16. The ball is spotted at the Lutheran 45. Willis with Joe Davis in the backfield. Jones in motion. Double reverse. This is Cobrian Shelby. And there is another flag that's thrown as he gets himself a first down. He goes down about the 32-yard line, but there is a flag.
And I think this one's going to come back again, Mike.
2 guys in motion.
Yeah, legal procedure. 2 men in motion there for the Saints.
And we'll bring this one back. It'll be 4th, make that 3rd down and 21, I believe. They should mark the ball at the 40-yard line.
So it's taken us kind of a couple of plays to get back to where we were originally before the 5-yard offside penalty against Traders Point on defense. So a couple of plays that you're going to wipe off the play sheet there.
It's been 3rd down for about a week and a half.
3rd and 21 from the 40 for Willis. Fakes to Davis, looks downfield, looking to his left. Not much of a rush. Now throws downfield. It's way short. It'll be 4th down.
Hey, let's give some credit there to Traders Point. Their defensive backfield, their great coverage back there. Willis had all the time in the world, but he had no one open down there to get the ball out to. A nice defensive stand there by the Knights.
Calvin Kirk for the Knights, number 58, along with number 9, Justin Kirk, applied some of the pressure to Jackson Willis. And now Lutheran is forced to punt for the first time in this ball game. Low snap. He got the kickoff and drives it forward. A fair catch at about the 25-yard line. That kick by Cam Patterson. And it'll be 1st down for Traders Point.
Yeah, really nice recovery there. Low snap, bobbled it. Got the still had enough time to get away, and a really good kick there for the Saints.
Our game tonight, built by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com. or call 317-257-0779, and by Genesis Sports Performance Training, Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. It's 28-0 Lutheran here in the second. The Knights of Traders Point with the football. Cooper Simmons Little, the quarterback, number 2. Simmons Little looking to his right, throwing, and this one is over the outstretched arms of Moran.
Simmons Little's pass
Had the defender beaten. That was Akins.
Yeah, had a good look there at Moran, just a little bit overthrown. But again, he's under some duress in the pocket, and he's not just able to drop back, set his feet, and really fire and release.
2nd and 10. Simmons Little, the give to the running back Kirk. He's going nowhere, and he is hammered. The freshman, 79, Cameron McCaney. He's 6'1", 260 pounds, and he's the second or third leading tackler for Coach Pash's ball club. He's got a great future ahead of him. 3rd and 11.
Yeah, 3rd and long, just again for the Knights. They haven't been able to kind of stay with the chains, right? Everything's all or nothing with them. And again, 3rd and 11, not where you want to be.
Simmons Little, there's a blitz from Akins on the inside, picked up well by the Knights. Throws for Moran, he makes the catch. He got a foot down, and that'll be a first down for the Knights.
And I'll tell you, Philip Moran is a really, really good high school wide receiver. He's getting separation out there, and a nice job, nice throw and catch there for Traders Point.
Moran has 12 touchdown catches this year. Nearly 50 catches on the season for the Knights receiver. The Knights can put points on the board, but tonight they're being goose-egged. It's 28-0, 10-11 to go here in the second.
And, Mike, this is a team that averages 33 points a game. So they have shown the ability over the course of the season that they can hang some points on the board, but tonight it's not being going their way, and there's another big hit from the Saints defense.
Justin Kirk is going nowhere. Bauer was one of the tacklers.
In on the stop, 44, Spencer Bauer.
And also there, I believe that was Lewis Mobley, number 55, and this Saints defense has really done a great job. 2nd and 14 after a loss of 4. Simmons Little with 2 backs. And somebody jumped.
False start.
I think that was Hawk Johnson out there, left tackle.
And that is an unfortunate penalty on the Knights. It'll be a 5-yard penalty on Traders Point. And speaking about that offensive line, Hawk Johnson, as Thad mentioned, left tackle 52. Calvin Falk, the left guard, 58. Nick Bartels, the snapper, the center, 75. Gus Westerfall, the right tackle, 77. And Christian Heiser, the right tackle, number 50. Cooper Simmons Little getting away from Bauer, flips it forward. Good run, and knocked out of bounds inside the 48 by L.J. Ward, but not after a good positive pitch there by Cooper Simmons Little.
Yeah, that was kind of making the best out of the tough situation there for Simmons Little. Again, under some pressure, and just kind of tosses about a 2-yard pass to Moran, but he had space out there, and this is kind of more where they need to be, right? 3rd and 6. It's a reasonable ask for this offense to pick that up.
3rd and 6 from the Knights 49. Traders Point 4-4 on the year. Rolls to his right. Simmons Little getting a rush from Akins, and this one is almost picked off. Johnny Halls, the linebacker, had floated deep into that coverage and nearly picked off. And there may be a flag, Thad.
I think they were discussing if maybe it was a reception, a completed pass after the deflection. It looked like Moran was there. From our vantage point, it looked like it hit the turf, but it's hard to tell from where we're at.
So they grouped and they said it's an incomplete pass, so it'll be 4th down. And Traders Point, and Coach Carnes is electing, I think, to go to try this first down here.
It's 4th down, ball at the 49-yard line. 4th down and about 6.
Lutheran's defense has been stout tonight. 28-0.
Very, very solid, and this is a pretty big down here for Traders Point. You mentioned it a little bit earlier, Mike. They're in the range now of the 35-point mark. You don't want to give Lutheran a short field again and give Willis and company an opportunity to get another score. That would, introduce the running clock for the remainder of the game.
Johnny Hallthatter had that tip. The linebacker is the leading tackler for the Saints this year. He has 58 tackles, followed by Spencer Bauer, number 44 with 55 stops. McCaney, the defensive tackle, this is unheard of, has 46 tackles. Say it's unheard of. You just don't see a defensive tackle make that many stops.
How many times do you see your defensive tackle third on your team in tackles, and not just with 5? He's got 46 hits.
Simmons Little, he has nowhere to go. Bauer was rushing and throws it out of bounds.
Simmons Little's pass goes out of bounds.
And that's going to turn the football back to the Saints.
Will take over on downs.
Again, Spencer Bauer is running him down, blitzing from the middle. They just cannot handle the heat tonight from the Saints.
It's a new baseball hat.
Third straight possession for Lutheran, where they're going to begin the possession on their side of the 50. We did finally see a stop from Traders Point on the last drive, but that was aided a little bit by some penalties that pushed the Saints back. And as we talked about, they need another defensive stand here to give the football back to their offense with a chance to score before the break.
First down and 10 from the Knights' 49-yard line as Jackson Willis and Joe Davis stand by the line of scrimmage. Willis, screen to Beatty. Dakota, 48, nice slip. Here he goes. He's all the way down to the 41-yard line, and that is a really good first down play from Jackson Willis to Dakota Beatty.
Weapons, Mike. Weapons. Got weapons all over the field for Lutheran, right? Beatty's made some nice plays. He's not going to necessarily be a deep threat per se, but he's very shifty if you can get him in those possession type of areas with the football.
2nd and 2, gain of 8. For football at the Knights 41. Willis throws down the middle, caught. That's Cobrian Shelby. There he goes. He's going to go all the way. Cobrian Shelby, his third touchdown. This one, the third touchdown pass of the night. Jackson Willis.
That time they set up the screen. The offensive lineman release. Shelby comes across, they dump it to him, and he's got a convoy down the middle of the field, blockers everywhere. And once you get Shelby out there in space, he's going to make some moves. He had to make one guy miss. He did, and he's in for 6.
Nick Miller after that 6-point from Shelby, and Boss Jones will hold for the Saints. Looking for its 35th point of the ball game. The snap, the kick, and this one is a fake. Toss to the tight end under there. That's 2 points. It's 36-0. I'm not quite sure if it's either a fake or there's just so much pressure that he decided to carry the football, and Boss Jones pitched the ball, but we'll see what happens here. They may call this one back. There is a flag on the field.
Looked like a legal man downfield was the signal there. So even when something negative happens, somehow Lutheran turns it into a positive. I know it gets called back with a penalty here. And another opportunity, but looked like Jones fumbled the snap back to him as the holder, and he just made the best of a bad situation there, scrambled out, pitched it in. So push him back to, the 8-yard line here is where they're going to snap it from.
A 25-yard PAT for Nick Miller. Again, Jones is the holder. This is a good snap. The kick by Miller. Right to the right. It went to the right. So the score remains 34-0. So this clock will not run.
Right. So still normal rules here as they're 1 point short of the 35 threshold. I do want to go back to that touchdown score, though. We hadn't seen that from them. They've shown some screen game already, but most of that's been to the outside. That time they run a screen basically right down the middle. They bring Shelby across from the right flat. And once those linemen release and they dump it to Shelby, it's him, and he's got 4 or 5 blockers ahead of him there. Really beautiful play design there from Lutheran.
Lutheran on top of this ball game, 34-0, with 7 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the second period. And Dax Locklear, number 2, he's just a freshman, will do the kicking. He's done it all night long for Dave Pash, and he's got a sore leg because their football team has racked up the touchdowns tonight.
And Mike, I know it's early. We're just midway through the second quarter here, but one of the things that we're going to probably need to watch for is how long Coach Pash is going to go with these starters, knowing that postseason play starts next week. Obviously, you want to avoid any sort of injury situation. You want to be as healthy as possible going into the postseason. But we talked to Coach Pash a couple weeks ago when we were here for the Monrovia game, and he needs his guys to get reps. He was a little bit concerned with the limited amount of time some of the starters has gotten because they've played in so many blowouts.
And frankly, if I'm Coach Pash, I'm going to play my starters as long as I'd like. And if it's 3.5 quarters and they're still up 60-0 or whatever it is, you got to play them. They've got to get reps. As you talked about, they've had some blowouts where their first-string guys really haven't played that much, as much as some of the major competition in Class A have done. And they've got a big sectional matchup next week against South Putnam. Chuck Sorrell's ball club's very good. They're 7-1 on this season. And they've got some athletes that can run the football, and they've got a great following.
Yeah,
a big crowd here.
A little bit of a different style with South Putnam than what we're seeing tonight with Traders Point. South Putnam's going to be a little bit more methodical. They want to run it in between the tackles. They want to control the clock, which honestly is that's the only kryptonite, that you could tell if you're a Lutheran fan out there is as long as you can keep the Saints offense on the sideline and your offense is able to move the football, that's the best defense you have against this Saints offense.
Reffett, the ball carrier, 4-yard gain. Johnny Hall, the linebacker, and Mobley were the tacklers for the Saints. 7:02 in the second period, 34-0. Lutheran over Traders Point. Simmons Little, they're blitzing down the middle, well overthrown to Moran, who was covered by Cobrian Shelby. But, boy, there was heat down the middle from the Saints.
I was going to say, brought the heat right in his face right there. And, again, just another instance where Simmons Little's got to get rid of that football well before he wants to.
Simmons Little has second and make that 3rd down and 6 because Reffett had a 4-yard gain on first down. Looking for a blitz from the inside. That's Aikens, 27, was showing blitz for Lutheran. And the middle linebacker's coming, and down he goes. Boy, they collapsed the middle. Sims on the inside, 67, had some help. It looked like Mobley was in there, and another lineman for Lutheran. They had Jacob Roberts, 62, also credited that tackle, but there's no room for Simmons Little. 4th down. And they're going to go for it on their own 23. Why not? He's back, maybe to punt. Simmons Little is going to punt it. And it's going to hit the Traders Point 44 and take a good roll. Moran downs this one with 6:05 to go in the second. Lutheran 34. Traders Point, nothing.
Very short possession, obviously, offensively there for Traders Point, and the makeup of their roster and their team. A lot of these guys are playing both ways, and you're really putting a ton of pressure on these guys on the defensive side of the ball because you're not able to move the ball offensively. They've taken a ton of defensive snaps already here in this first half.
1st down and 10 for Lutheran. The Saints have the football at their own 47. They've played on a short field most of the night, it seems like. Willis. Flag is thrown. There may be a hold. Throw across the middle. It's caught. And this one, I believe, is going back.
McKay with a really, really great juggling catch. Pretty good job defensively there, the defender to get his hand in there, and somehow McKay still comes down with it. But I think you're right, Mike. I think this is going to come back.
And I think that hold is on 55, Lewis Mobley. They flagged him at his own 45-yard line. No. We got 2 penalties, face mask,
Face mask, hands to the face.
and a legal procedure or legal substitutions. They may have had 12 players, and that's going to offset. We'll go back to first down and 10 at the 47.
I almost feel like maybe we should let him play with 12. Let's just see what happens here, Mike,
34-0 Lutheran. The snap to Willis. Protection down the middle. Caught by Brian Shelby, I believe. 30 and out of bounds. He has just been slippery all night long.
Yeah, really, really nice there. Crossing pattern from Shelby, and once he comes across, there's a little bit of zone on the defensive, so the linebacker's got to let him go. And Willis waits till he finds that soft spot, and the defense dumps it to him. And then, as we've seen, Shelby can make some plays out in the open field.
27-yard pass play from Jackson Willis to Cabrian Shelby. Joe Davis in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the Traders Point 26-yard line. Soft coverage on the far side of the field. Willis goes back, throws down the middle. It's intercepted. It's picked off. I looked like Moran got his hands on the football, and that's an interception. Nope, it's number 7. It's number 7, Nick Dearman.
Dearman there from his safety spot, read that play beautifully, almost kind of baited Willis a little bit. He thinks Willis is looking for that post across the deep middle, and Dearman was there waiting, and then right when that pass is released, he jumps right in front of it for the interception. Nice play there from the Knights.
1st down and 10 for Traders Point. Traders Point Christian down 34-0 with 5:21 to go in the second period. Cooper Simmons Little, the quarterback, number 2. He's joined in the backfield by Eli Meals. Simmons Little looking for the throw down the middle. This one is picked. It's picked. Look out. Johnny Hall, touchdown Lutheran. Johnny Hall, the linebacker, with the interception. That'll be a 5-yard interception, but he ran about 20.
Yeah, we'll return the favor here, right? Back-to-back interceptions. Here's Johnny right there. He picks it off and then takes it to the end zone. So we've scored, we've seen Lutheran score rushing the football. We've seen some short passing game result in a touchdown. We've seen a deep passing game result in the touchdown. Then they scored on defense here. Now all they need is a special teams touchdown, Mike, to kind of just check all the boxes here on our bingo card.
We almost had one earlier, but it was called back, and it's 40-0. And Nick Miller with the extra point attempt. Boss Jones will hold for the Saints. This number 1 ball club is rallying here in this ball game with lots of points. This kick just inside the crossbar, 41-0. 5:12 to go. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. And it's actually 41-0 with 5:12 to go in the second quarter.
Pretty impressive, Mike. And we were talking about this a little bit moments ago. I think if I'm Coach Pash, I let my starters play this first half and then go to halftime, reset with that second unit, and, kind of for the second unit then make that the start of the game, right? And then let's see how they perform for the second half. Kind of alleviate any sort of risk of injury. Make sure your guys are fresh starting with, once the postseason starts next week with South Putnam coming to town.
There's no doubt about the fact that Lutheran is playing with a high level of confidence on both sides of the football tonight. And a good plus heading into postseason play to have the defense score points with Johnny Hall to get that pick and return it for the touchdown. The freshman, number 2, Dax Locklear for the kick. Taken by Meals at about the 8-yard line. And he's brought down on the far side before the 20-yard line. Again, not very good field position for Traders Point.
And this is what we talked about early on, Mike. They have not really given themselves an opportunity. Every drive has started at the 20 or behind that. So you're asking your offense to go 80-plus yards every time to find points. Obviously, they haven't been able to do that. And you reverse it, Lutheran's had several attempts with short fields, right? They've had the ball on their side of the 50 or right at the 50 a couple of times, and they've cashed those in. That's a huge difference. And some of that special teams, like Coach Carnes talked about, it's those hidden yardage, on the returns, on the punts, different things like that, that's made the biggest difference so far in this first half.
Simmons Little, he's getting a rush. The hands are up and blocked. And it's knocked down, incomplete. Size matters at every level.
Trying to set up a screen out there on the left side out in the flat, but there was too much pressure up in Simmons Little's face and a nice deflection there.
Second down, 10 yards to go.
Cam Patterson, 88, had his hands up in the air and got a piece of the football, and that fell harmlessly. Simmons Little, again, the handoff to Reffett on the left side, and he's going nowhere. I mean, he went nowhere. He's going backwards, if anything. 79 was one of the tacklers for Lutheran defensively, and that's Cameron McCaney.
Along with number 79, Cameron McCaney.
Third down and 10 for the Knights. Simmons Little at the helm of this offense. They have really struggled tonight against a very good Saints defense who's put lots of pressure. And again, there's another blitz. And down he goes. Down he goes. Jacob Roberts, number 62, was the guy that got him. Roberts with his 4th sack of the season. Simmons Little had nowhere to go.
You know what the best part of what the Saints defensively have done tonight, Mike, is that we haven't just called like 1 or 2 names. We've called 5, 6, 7, 8 different guys making plays. We've seen Akins, we've seen Hall, we've seen Bauer, we've seen all of these different guys. We've seen Lohman, we've seen McCaney. All these guys making plays on the defensive side of the ball. It's kind of like having a ton of offensive weapons, right? You can't double team McCaney every single time because it's going to open too many holes for the other guys.
4th and 19, a bad snap, and the ball is thrown out of bounds, intended for Meals.
Late flag, and I think that's going to be a personal foul, roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer.
And finally, Traders Point got themselves a break because that should be an automatic first down. Boy, that would have been a disaster for Traders Point. The ball would have been turned over at their own 12-yard line to the homestanding Saints already on top 41-0.
First and 10, Traders Point.
So first down and 10 for the Knights at the 17. High snap. I think at the 27. He doesn't get much. He lost a couple yards.
Loss on the play.
That was McCaney again, putting lots of pressure. He's listed at 260, but I think at this point in the season, I don't think he's 260. He may be 290. Here's the snap. Simmons Little down the middle of the field looking for Moran. Oh, he almost had it.
Pretty good looking play call there. Moran had some separation up the left seam. Just a little bit overthrown there, but a nice play design. I've been really impressed with Moran. I know he hasn't had a ton of receptions tonight, but he is a good receiver. He's getting some space out there.
Yes.
If Simmons Little had a little bit more time, he could really connect. I've been really, really, kind of excited about Moran outside there. He's got some skills and some potential.
Third down and 12 for Traders Point. 2:58 to go in the quarter. Back to pass. Simmons Little throws a short pass to Moran. He goes out of bounds.
Pass complete to Moran.
And this one is incomplete. Akins was on the defense, I believe, number 27, and Moran couldn't handle the football.
Yeah, that's what happens. I talked him up a little bit. He heard me. He heard me mention his. I was in his ear a little bit, but no, I think he's been an absolutely fantastic receiver so far tonight. That one he just didn't haul in.
And again, Sam Carnes is trying to go for the first down. That's all you can do. You're losing 41-0. It's 4th and 12 from your own 25. Well, maybe we're going to see a punt. We do. Simmons Little with the punt, and this one is going to get a nice roll, and a nice roll, in fact. And downed at the 42-yard line. So with 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the second, the Saints on top 41-0, and they're getting the reps in for their starters. As I thought that they would, but as you point out, they may flip the card as we move into the third period. First down and 10 for Lutheran at their own 42, led by Jackson Willis. The Southpaw has had an excellent ball game. And a timeout is called by the Knights.
Timeout, Traders Point.
Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance Training. They train Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes as well as adults. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. And Thad, right now, Lutheran has completely dominated this ball game.
Yeah, that's been very impressive. This is the second time we've seen Lutheran as a team this season, and the first time we saw them was a complete domination of Monrovia that night. Tonight, this first half has been all Saints. Pretty good time out there by Coach Carnes. They were either a man short on defense or they were out of alignment. McKay was lined up wide to the left, and he had no defensive back over here to match up with him. It was going to be an easy throw and catch for the Saints, and McKay was just going to stroll right into the end zone, so a nice use of the time out there.
So Lutheran has the football at their own 42, 1st and 10, with 2:38 to play in the second period. Willis back to pass, looking down the far left side to McKay. Has some separation, but Meals closed at the last minute and knocked it away.
Good coverage there from Meals. They went right back to the well. That was the play they were going to run before the timeout. They threw it up for McKay, and a really, really nice job defensively there by Meals. He's undersized in comparison to McKay, but he went up, got his hand in there, and knocked that pass away.
2nd down and 10 from the Saints 42 for Jackson Willis. The Saints 8-0, looking to finish the regular season undefeated as they enter sectional play next week against the South Putnam Eagles. Boss Jones, 45, and Meals kind of pulls them away out of bounds. He does stop the clock at 2:23.
We've talked about this a little bit, but let's talk about it a little bit more, Mike. The reason that the short passing game for Lutheran works so well is that their receivers are willing to block. That time you had Beatty out there and you had Shelby out there. They're blocking. They're making some space for their teammate. That time it was Jones, and like we've talked about and like we've seen tonight, if you can get those guys out there in a one-on-one situation, odds are they're going to win the one-on-one battle and make that man miss. So I really want to highlight the great work that the Saints receivers have done tonight and throughout the season in blocking for their teammates.
The sign of a championship program. Willis under pressure, and he's put down on a sack for Traders Point, and a great sack there by the number 58, Calvin Falk gets the sack. Falk for the Knights gets the sack, the first sack of the ball game on Jackson Willis.
Yeah, nice play there by Falk, just busted through that line, and Willis hung in there. He's trying to get rid of the football, but Falk was back there way too quickly, and he didn't have anywhere to go with it.
Cole Snow will do the punting. For the most part this year, he's got 11 punts on the year for Coach Pash's ball club with a 41-0 lead, and a timeout is called as we do now have a running clock with 1:33. But even though we have a running clock, you can use a timeout to freeze everything. Traders Point, a young football program, 6-3 in IHSA play. They're ranked 215. They're going to get better, but they've got a chance, I think, to make a run in the sectional. They have to find a way somewhere along the line to get by Park Tudor. That's 5-3. North Vermilion also 5-3, but I think the cream of the crop in that sectional is Park Tudor. They're going to play Clinton Central in the first round, and the Bulldogs have really been struggling. They're 0-8. I think even though they're going to take a beating tonight, I think Traders Point has a chance to win their first sectional game and make a run in the tournament.
Yeah, Park Tudor probably the cream of the crop in that sectional. But Traders Point before tonight's game, they had won 3 out of 4. They were really playing some nice football. They lost a tough one last week to Monroe Central, 20-15. Weather was a little bit of a factor. Coach Carnes didn't really like the execution that he saw last week against Monroe Central, but they started out with a really difficult schedule. Week 1 was Heritage Christian, Week 2 Covenant Christian. Both of those teams have made deep tournament runs in recent years, so they really did challenge themselves early and had been playing some good ball coming into tonight. So I agree with you, Mike. I think in that sectional that they're in, they could make some noise.
And in the second half, they've got to develop some confidence as they head into the sectional. There's a nice little toss out there to Moran. He gets a couple yards, but he is hammered. Spencer Bauer is just a big hitter for the Saints, along with Jack Akins, number 27.
Yeah, Akins was first there, and Moran kind of slid out of that Akins tackle, and then boom, Bauer was there to deliver